Hey everybody. So tonight we're going to be doing a small track creation. It's not going to be anything too fancy. I'm just going to go over the basic details. Everything you know to get set up. I'll show you little tips and tricks, little ease of life things you could do for when you're starting to create a track. So we'll give it a minute here. Let's stream, roll for a minute. Plus I have to get set up. So just a heads up, this will be a bit more relaxed. Family's still awake, family's up and moving and all that good stuff, so you might hear some background. But I at least want to give this to you guys. So here we go, let's dive in. And I'll show you what I do. So the first thing you're going to notice every time is this little tutorial box on the right pops up, and really it doesn't help all that much. It eventually goes away, or you can hit circle to get rid of it. Anyway, the things on the bottom are key for where you're going to set up your track, also for lighting. So before I hit X right here is where you're going to confirm what you want your track setting to be. Next location, previous location, I'll demonstrate. I'm going to hit L1. It's going to take you to a different part of the map. Now, up in the map, up here, where the arrow is, this little dot is you, and this cone is where you're facing. So if you're building a track and you're facing away from it, you're going to see your view cone go off the map. Now the issue with this is you can only build so far back. The track stops you. Hey Leonard, what's up, man? Hey, you wanted this? I'm happy to do this for you, so stick around. I'm sure you'll learn some things on how to, make a good track. I'm going to touch on pretty much everything I know, well, the basics of everything I know, and then it's just a matter of tweaking it and things like that. So sit back, relax, and just know it's for you, man. You wanted it, I'm going to do it for you. So L1, R1, you set your location, whatever you want it to look like. Also, I like to stick with the lighting. Little dark setting, night setting. I'm going to go to a nice little area here. Okay, let's look at this. So as you notice, there's cars, there's trees, there's everything in the background. And there are ways you can get around that. I'm gonna watch now. Okay. So you're looking around, you see all these mountains, trees, little things back here. You can get rid of those later. You don't necessarily need them right now, or need to worry about them. You just want to place your track. Now, I'm watching my little dot. You can see my arrow right here. I'm watching my little dot and where I'm facing. And as I'm moving, I'm noticing which way the dot goes. And right now, it's barely moving. Oops. Oops, hold on. Okay. Let's try this again. And I'll show you what I'm doing right here with the clicking then. So it is moving left, which means I'm going to the more left side of the map, obviously. So the reason I'm doing that is I want a lot of space so that if I want to make a huge track, I have room for it. Now this is the worst part. Once we get past this, everything else is smooth sailing. I'm going to put my first marker down at about the spot where I think I can start it. And then it doesn't matter how long you make this line. It could be 2 inches and you're going to have a 2-inch track. Or you can have one that extends the whole map. You don't have to use the whole thing, but you can. And I'll show you what I do. Now, R2 and L2, if you hold an L2, I'm pushing left, and the camera is moving extremely slow. If you push, I'm pushing right. If I push right normal, this is how fast the camera goes. If I hold an R2, you're going to fly. Like, you're going really fast. Now the way I'm maneuvering the camera itself, you see the little item left and right bars on the side of the screen. Let me see if I can move the arrow to it. Yeah. this left bar, this right bar. When I click my L3, it switches to this. So now instead of going left and right, it spins left and right. And I personally don't like using this setting a lot. I mean, I do in certain circumstances, but not often. So what I do is I click my L3, I get it to the straight left, straight right. That way I can scroll left and right without having to worry about anything. Alright, so... hold on here. I think I went... Where am I? I just want to make sure I'm not going in the... Okay. Way over there is the line. So I don't want it to go over that tree. And we're going to make a big one, and I'll show you why. And we're going to put it right here. So, where'd it go? Yes, I know how to... Hold on here. Oh, I got to find where up. Oh, it's right here. Okay. Now, if you put it in the wrong spot or you don't like it here, you can always pick it up. And what you need to do is both pick up this item and the end checkpoint. Now, only do this at the very beginning of your track before you have anything down. And the reason is, anything on your line that you're building is going to be offset. So even though they may still be in a line, this is your driving line. So everything needs to be in line with that. So always move this the very first thing. Once it's down, leave it alone. So now we have our first track, and all I got to do is go to test track, and you can play it just like a normal game. You know, good to go. Nothing exciting. You could bike the whole way over to that other checkpoint if you wanted to. I like to do test track a lot, mainly because it brings you to the current checkpoint you're working on. Now, another thing I like to do is I like to have a common perspective. So I'm going to get my left and right arrows back to the full left and right. And what I'm going to do is hit R1. I'm sorry, L1, R1. I must be positioned properly. If you're positioned off like this and you hit R1, it focuses you on the perspective that you need. You're head on. You're facing straight into the track. Now, it looks like I'm looking down, but it's because it's on a hill. So those are the very minimal basics of how to set up a driving line. As far as doing the circle patterns and things like that, I don't mess with those. I don't know how to do them, and if anyone actually wants to show me how to do it, I'd be happy. But this is all for straight tracks. So now, we got the driving line down. The next thing I want to do is determine, you know, what I want it to look like. And for the track that I'm going to be showing you is actually going to be the start of a tutorial level that I'm doing. So I already know what I want it to look like, and the sun isn't going to matter much, but I'll show you how to play with that too. So first off, if you hold, let me think, hold the down on the D-pad and go to track settings. You can look at game mode settings, environment, and music playlist. Game mode settings will be at the very end of creating a track, which I'll show you as well. Environment is where you're gonna, you know, select all your weather, all that good stuff. Now, time of day, you can do sunset, evening, night, and you can go through all these. For me, it really depends on the track. Like right now, I like it clear. So custom preset, I mean, I'm gonna try to get the clearest thing I can. I think it's Fields Day. Yeah, Fields Day is usually the best lighting in my opinion. Now, sun settings, you could do sun angle. Watch your shadows. That's how you know where the sun angle is at. Now, because it's going to be in a box for me, I know that I want the sun hitting me from a slight angle. So what I'm going to do is make sure my shadow is beyond where I am, and then longitude is the spinning of it. So watch my shadow. It's going to bring it, you know, all the way around for, oops, my bad. All the way around. Yeah, sorry, I'm thinking of doing. The longitude moves the sun left and right. The sun angle moves it up and down. Sun size, it's really, if you're looking at the sun while you're playing, I normally don't touch it. If you want it a little brighter, sun intensity, you can turn it down and just make it dark. Flare intensity, it's, again, if you're doing something where you're looking into a track, or into the sun in a track, then you may want to mess with that. Sunlight color, you can keep it on white. It's very lightly tinted yellow. If you're doing like a spooky track or something, you know, you can set the sunlight color to, I don't know, red, and have a background like that. But for me, I just like leaving it alone. Sun visual color, it's the actual sun itself. So let me back out. Hold on. We're going to look at the sun. It should be right behind me. Where's it at? That's it, right there. Okay, the sun's right here. So, track settings. And that's down on your D-pad again. And you're using your right thumbstick to move that wheel around. So environment, sun settings again. We're just looking at this right now. So that's moving it left, that's moving it right. Visual color, you can make it red. You can make the sun blue, green if you want. It's pretty cool. You know what? Let's make it green just for the. Let's make it green just for the example. So now, sun size. You can do a really tiny dot. You can make it the entire screen. I mean, you can have as much fun with this as you want. For me, in my tracks, normally it doesn't matter because I hate looking into it. Even in the game, I don't look into the sun. Hey, Johnny Kenny, my day is going great. I'm doing a nice little tutorial for you guys. Hoping I can pass on some knowledge. So if you're interested, stick around. I'm just doing the basic visual settings right now. We already laid a line, but not much more than that. So intensity, we went through all that. Glare color, don't worry about that. So what I'm going to do right now is set it back to just, actually no, I'm going to keep it green just for the heck of it. So I'm all the way back. All I have to do is hit R1 and it focuses me right back on the track of what I'm working on. The next thing you want to do is determine the layout. For me, I'm going to have this staggered. Normally you can have a straight track, you can lay down ramps, things like that, but I want to have a certain room staggered. One, because it's going to be a tutorial level, and two, because I want to show it off. So the biggest thing about creation that you're going to do is you're up on your D-pad. And this is going to bring up your entire menu. These are all the track pieces throughout all the Trials games. Your tools are really big when you want to put in like ninja obstacles, or you want to do effects or explosives, something like that. Common. You even got your fail areas in here. And I like to use the flat fail areas. You just L1, R1 to scroll through the different styles of them. So what I want to do, I already know where this item is. I want to go into Trials Fusion, and I'm going to go the whole way to Empires of Sky. And you see, this is all super inclusive. I mean, you have any and everything. And then you have options with any and everything. Well, just about any and everything. So I'm going to go to platforms. I'm going to do decking. And I know this is the biggest I can get for this. So with this piece right here, you can put it anywhere you want. And you see that little green thing that's going across on the platform itself? Oh, yeah. This little green piece that's going across it, that is your driving line. So however you set this up, wherever you stop it, your driving line is going to be right there. Now the trick with this is whenever you're laying a piece, it doesn't matter what it is, if it's on your driving line, please click in the R3 button. That auto centers it. So even if you move it down and it's off a little bit, R3, pop right in the center. You do this for everything you're going to be driving on. So now, I like to pick up the checkpoints, put it on my first piece, and as you can see, we're perfectly centered in this platform. We're good to go. So a little more in depth. This might be too much for you right now, but hear me out. It'll come around full circle. I'm going to go back into my track settings by hitting my down on my D-pad. Track settings. Environment. And what I'm going to do is go down to visibility settings. I want to disable background scenery, disable world objects, disable water, ground foliage, all terrain. My front wheel back wheel tracks on Fusion, they range anywhere from a 1 to, I think there's a low 5 on there. A lot of them are 3s. So when I did that, that took the entire sky, wiped out everything in the background so it's all clear. Now, what I do in this instance, right now, the way you have it, if you're going to be using this a lot, you're going to want to hit Start, go down to Save Track. I already have one called Good Blank. And the reason I save it like that is if I have a special character in front of any other track, I mean any name, it's going to prioritize it as top because it goes through alphabetically. Okay, yeah, no worries, dude. I'll wait a sec. It is going to be a little bit confusing because I don't know how to teach it without sounding confusing. I can teach, I just can't teach this without fully preparing. I'm actually kind of going off the cuff right now. Anyway, when I save my blank track, I put a special character in it because it prioritizes it in the alphabetical list. And then, you know, I saved it as Good Blank. So every time I come in, I go to, even when it starts up at that brand new screen, here, I'll show you. Let's exit editor, go back in.
No.
Yes. We're going to go right back in and I'll show you what I have it set up as. It's a track editor. And it brings you right back to something like this. I want to start a new track. Now I can go down to track management, load track. Now I have a start to a new track. Now I did mess with the sky. I'm not going to go too far into it. If you ever need it, down on your D-pad, track settings, environment, and you can mess with the sky settings, cloud settings, fog, reflection. I mean, you name it, it's in there. So right now I have clouds turned off. The back I have as a cyan blue, just as a default for me. So coming back to this, this is just the standard piece I put here just to keep my bike from falling through. Now, when you disable all the world terrain, one of the things that happens, if you're not paying attention, and you go back or you go down just a little bit, you're going to start glitching. So whatever you do from this point has to go up. You can't go down or you're going to spaz out, which is really fun to watch, but I don't want to waste too much time on that. Another thing I did, when we laid that line the whole way over, like we're talking miles away, I went back over, I grabbed that checkpoint, the last checkpoint, clicked on it, dragged it the whole way over, and you know, then I put it really close to the first checkpoint. And the reason I did that is because as I add a checkpoint, I move this out, and at the end I don't want to go hunting for my last checkpoint every time, so I just bring it along with me throughout the entire track. And what I'll usually do is I'll take it where it's at right now, I'll throw it about that far down and up, because usually you build tracks up, and that's usually how I get it set up. So that sets you up for a really good blank track. Now I save it with the ending point the whole way back here, that way I don't have to go out and retrieve it each time. Next, let's go back to that platform that I had pulled up. It's under Trials Fusion. And we're going to go to, platforms, decking sections. We're going to center that. And we're going to get rid of this. So you notice my biker is in here. It's because my bike is on the last checkpoint. It always hovers over the last checkpoint you click on. So I'm going to click this checkpoint just to see. Okay, they're not actually sitting on it right now. They're underneath it. So I'm going to move that over. And now it's sitting on it. We're good to go with that. For each piece you set down, sometimes you can modify how it looks, things like that. So let's go through that real quick. I don't like this blue for the track that I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is click on it once with X, and it brings up this what do you call it? Those things that spin but don't balance, gyroscope looking thing. There you go. Sorry. Anything that I want to modify, I'm going to click on it with X, and I'm going to hit the up on the D-pad, and that brings up the properties for that object. Variations you can go through. If you didn't select it in the main menu, or I mean in the menu when you're picking it, you can always modify from here. Visibility, visible, invisible. Physics, if you... Okay, we'll touch on physics later because I want to put a bomb in, and that's mainly when you use physics. Lock to driving line, I don't worry about it because I lock everything instinctively anyway. Advanced settings, texture cache, culling range, I never mess with them. I don't know what they do. If it's actually something that would help a track, someone tell me, but advanced physics, mass, don't know. Here's one of the few things I do know in here. If it's something you're going to be driving on, leave it to physics type default. If it's a part of the scenery, if it's part of any decoration, anything your driver's not physically going to be on, you want to put it to decoration only. Now, there could be other instances. Oops. Now, decoration only, what happens is you fall through it. It's no longer a physical object. So I'm going to put it back to hitting the up on the D-pad. I'm going to go back to physics, and I'm going to turn it back to default. And I should be able to, yep, pop right back on top of it. So every time I move, every time I do something, I'm always tapping my R1 just to make sure that my camera's centered so I can continue. What I want to do with this is go down to material, and I would like to make this a different color than, you know, just the blue. Let's go to white. It's a perfect wood color. That's what I'm looking for. Now, there are different ways of extending your scenery or whatever. One of the things you can do is the size. You can shrink it to teeny tiny. You can make it super massive big. For this instance, what I'm going to do is make it about the size of the room that I want to have. So I'm thinking that that is going to be pretty decent. Oops. All right. And again, before I even hit circle, you notice how I move it? I always snap it back with R3. So now that it's a lot bigger, I'm going to move it so that the biker is at the beginning of it, because I want all this to play with, to be able to make a track, to be able to make room. Actually, that's a tiny bit too big for what I want. So let's shrink it down a little bit. Snap R3, and we're good. So another thing you can do with these items here is turn them. You can rotate them, do things like that. So let's get out. Let's get a ramp. We'll go to Trials Rising, Event, Intermediate. Oops, I don't want a box. Delete, thank you. And okay, we'll do this. So now I have this board, I'll snap it to the driving line. Your L2 and R2 are going to do whatever that ring tells you to do. The colors on the rings tell you which way they're going to spin. So right now it's on the blue ring, so it's going to spin left and right, doing your up and down ramps. Now if I want, I can hit R1, and what that does is R1 moves the color, or the rings. So you're spinning it based on that perspective. Now if I hit L2 or R2, I could do that. And say I want to do, you know, I want to make it vertical like that. Okay, now it's a little off kilter. But hey, you know, if that's how I want it, you know, that's how I do it. The cool thing about this, especially when you're snapping it, if you snap it again, it's going to reset it to default. Snap again, it goes right back to flat. I can mess with it again. I'm going to take a pause for a second here just to show you this. If you don't want to do it, ignore this little piece, but this is just something that I like. Hold down on your on your D-pad, editor settings. What I do is whenever I want to rotate an item with my L1 R1, I like to rotate it 45. I think right now it does 90 degrees. Take it down to 45. Trust me, it'll help you a lot more. And at the very bottom, what I do also, and I always switch this off and on. Where's it at? Focus camera. Focus camera, I'll turn it on real quick and I'll show you what it does. Focus camera, I can grab this, I can pull it to the right, and it brings the camera along with me. The only issue with that is when you're zooming in and you really want to get a fine detail of where ramps meet other ramps, that gets in the way. So I typically leave it off. Editor settings, focus camera. So now I can move it left and right and my camera's not following with me. So we'll leave it there. Now real quick, I'm noticing that my little arrows down here aren't the straight arrows I like, so I'm gonna click that just to get them back. Now what I did here was a mistake. It's just a plane that you're working on. All you got to do is click on one of the lines, hit square, you can delete it. Square is your delete, triangle is your copy. So if I click on this and I want to copy it, I just hit triangle. I have a second one, triangle, third one. Triangle, triangle, triangle. Now, say you're saying to yourself, you know what, I like the way that looked, but let's go back to the one I did before. Follow my cursor down here where it says undo, it's your square button. Hit your square button until you go back to the position where you like it, saying, hey, okay, this is cool. That's what I like. So I'm looking at this right now. I see the green line is way off. I'm going to re-snap it. And right now, okay, that is a really straight board. I want to make that into a ramp. I'm going to hit the up on the D-pad. See where it says variations? I'm going to go through until it's the desired ramp shape that I want. So, okay. And it's snapped. Notice how I turned it this way. I didn't want to. I just re-snap it. It resets it. R1. And you go back to whatever rotation you want. And you can set it up like that. See, now the line is perfectly centered with the ramp. So when I go to test track, I'm driving straight up it and straight down it. Everything is perfect on the driving line. And that's the beginning of, making a standard track. Now as you go through, you can copy, you could pick other items. Hell, you could throw a box in there for all you want, or you could throw a triangle, make it off kilter, spin it around, spin it that way, spin it that way. All right, this is really funky, but if you want, you could do that, and I just reset it. And L1 and R1 are doing the rotations there. How close can you zoom, by the way? Okay, let me show you. For instance, I want to do this, a ramp to a vertical. What I want to do is get my second ramp, and we'll look at this. Let's do a small ramp. I want to bring it in, and I want it vertical, so I'm going to tap L1 twice, or you could do R1 twice, either way. And that's on 45 degree, once for 90 degree. Now, when it's on like this, your joysticks move the item itself. Whenever you hold in L1 with something selected, you move the camera. So I'm holding in L1 whenever I have something selected, that way I can bring the camera in. Now the focus camera that I had turned off earlier won't allow you to get very close. So I'm going to bring this, I'm going to snap it center. I'm going to come down so I'm holding an L1, I can come in as close as I want. Oh, no, you're asking perfect questions, dude. This is perfectly fine. Come in as close as I want, and I'm going to bring it down. Now you see that little overlap? Here's the next lesson I'll show you. All right, this overlap right here. I want to get rid of that, but you know, it's really hard. The next thing I want to show you real quick. Follow. Oh, wait, no, don't follow my cursor. At the bottom right hand side of the screen, the very last item, it says fine tune off, and it's your right D-pad. Click it once to have medium. So this is full left. I'm sorry, full right. This is full left. I'm moving it as fast as I can. High, I'm moving it as fast as I can, both ways. It really slows down your cursor. So that overlap that we just had, now that I'm on fine tune high, I could slowly move it in to be exactly lined up with that ramp right there. Now that stays on, so if I go to pick this up and move it, it's not going to move too fast. So click it again, and it cycles through the three: off, medium, or high. So I don't want this anymore. What am I going to do? I'm going to hit square. I'm going to delete it. Let's test it. And Leonard, please ask questions. You're not interrupting. I'm here to teach you. I'm here to teach whoever is interested in watching. So there's no bump when I hit that. I'm going over it. It's really, really nice and smooth. So I know I did it the proper way. Yeah, really nice and smooth. So we went over fine tuning real quick. And all fine tuning is it's your preference. I don't like to make my tracks sloppy, but that's just me. So it works for certain people on certain tracks, but from my advice, please just make sure they match, because if you have a really banging track and just one thing is off to the point where it throws off the driving line, you're going to set the tone for the entire track, and you don't want to do that. So you always want to get your details in. You always want to make sure it's as close as you can get it. Now, there will be times where it's not going to match up properly or perfectly, like this. I'll take this, I'll copy it. Now, I'll say I want to curve down, just like that. Now, I'm going to come in as close as I can. And yes, that blue line will get in your way. It's just something you kind of work with. I'm going to turn my fine tuning on high. And I'm going to bring this over. See how it sticks out? I'm going to go one in, and I'm going to bring that the whole way down, and I'm going to get rid of that line. There we go. Now I'm going to bring this down until, see, I can't even do it here, so I have to move it over. This is where the intricacies of this track building come in. I'm going to try to match it up as good as I can. So just like that, right there. So that should be perfectly aligned. Let's test it out. Yeah, made an obstacle. That's really weird to get over. Okay. Now, because it's on a lip like that, it's not really going to matter, but I'm not getting the bike caught on it as I'm going through it. So as long as your bike doesn't get caught on it, you're fine. It looks a little weird. It's just how it is. So real quick, let's look through the editor, the ramps, and I'll show you like my most common used pieces. Of course, you have under Trials Rising, Event, Intermediate, you have those wood pieces. Under Trials Fusion, this is where I get pretty much all of my ramps. Riders of the Rustlands, ramps, I use a lot of these, or at least I used to. I've gotten away from them. Another one is, and all I'm doing to cycle through these menus is X and circle. Wooden structures, and at the bottom you have these. You have small ramps, you have pallets, small planks, I mean, you name it. You got floors. Another one I like to use is structures. Go the whole way over to, where's it at? Concrete structures, and then I like to use a concrete bar. You got pillars, shapes. I got a square, that little thing, triangles. You guys have seen these in my tracks. And then lastly, you got your standard Uber ramps, things like that. So we're going to stick with this for now. This is a really simple design here. Let's get rid of this because it looks kind of ugly. Say I want to put a tree in. Okay, hey, my track is done as far as the drive line goes. Now I want to make it look, you know, more pretty. All I'm going to do, and Rising and Blood Dragon don't have this as much, but I'm going to go into Fusion. I'm going to go over to Environment, and I can, you know, look at my trees. Now, if it's cut off like that, where you can only see half the tree, all you got to do is take your camera out, and you can see the whole thing then. Okay, there's a tree, banana tree, palm tree. I mean, you can go through. Here, let's do some pine trees. Now, I'm moving it, and it's not moving fast, so I got to turn off my fine-tuning. Snap it to the center. That way, at least I have a perspective. Now, what I want to do is put it in the spot that I want. And before I let go of it, I'm going to change it from a physical object to decoration. So I'm going to hit up on my D-pad. Go down to Advanced Physics. And down to Physics type, and I'm going to make it decoration only. And the biggest reason I do this is because you can only have so many physical pieces in a track. Which means anything that your bike touches has to be physical unless you want to drive through it. But everything else won't register. Because if you do that, you're going to get a big red message saying too many objects in this track, etc., like some can be driven through. 99% of the time you can ignore that warning. It just means you forgot to change a few things, but I like to get away from that. Well, yeah, not a solid block, but okay, hold on, I'll show you. I've snapped it to the middle. If you don't make it decoration... here's an example. I've seen this a bunch of times. People put trees right next to their ramps. And they forget to make it a decoration. So let's turn it back to the default. And watch this. Go up to it. Okay, it didn't do what I wanted it to, but there's some times where these branches will stop you. It'll get in the way. So just for super dramatic effect, notice how I reset my camera. You can do that when you're holding something, just by holding in L1 and then R1. Snap it to the middle. Right now it's default. I can't drive through it. Like, it's a physical object. It's something really hard. I'm never going to get through it. So by doing... Hold on here. By doing this, going down to Advanced Physics, Physics type decoration only, now that tree can be driven through. We didn't move the tree, we just changed the physics type. And now it's not counted as a physical object. So you can put as many of these trees around your track as you want, and the game's not going to care, because it's not going to be counted as something you could technically drive on. So all we're doing is making it so that it's a decoration. Got it? Cool. Okay. So let's take this decoration tree. We're going to stick it right here. And a lot of this now is mainly just going off of your preference. You know, how do you want it to look? Do you want it to look rocky? You can go into Trials Fusion. You can go to Environment. Look at some rocks. Okay, I want a giant-ass boulder right here. Okay, hey, that looks really cool, you know? Or I can go... Let's go to Blood Dragon. You know what? It's a little too normal for me. I want to do a hell style. So, you know what? Let's get a hell tree in there. Click it to the center. I don't like the way that it's facing, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to circle this gyroscope thing with my R1, and I want to get it to the red so that I can turn it. Okay, you know what? That looks really good. So I'm going to put this, you know what? No one may ever see it, but I'm going to put it on top of this. And I'm going to set it to decoration. Okay, that's a decoration. Just because this is in the back, I'm going to set this to decoration. So now none of these can be touched by the bike. You never will unless you explode or something, but that's semantics at that point. But now the track is never going to recognize those as something drivable, so you're never going to get an issue. So go into it, and it's actually starting to shape up and look like a semi-normal track. This rock here, this rock is a little too rock colored. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to hit my up on my D-pad and go down to material. Material is always your colors. We're going to make it a red rock. All right. Oops. Okay. Guys, look at my beautiful red rock. You know what? That's going to be part of that track there. And again, this is an example. I'm just showing you guys how to work it. So another cool thing you could do, and this type of ramp is not necessarily the best to show you. What's up, Brian? This type of track isn't necessarily the best to show you, so let me get a track that is. I'm going to go to Trials Fusion, and I'm going to go to Riders of Rustland. Going to do ramps, and I want to do a extra long. I want to make it super curvy. I'm going to snap it. I'm going to angle it to the way that I want, just like that. And I'm going to get rid of this thing in the back because that's not going to do anything for me anymore. So you notice how this is kind of plain, and you know the sun's out. Hell, what if you want it to be dark? Let's make it dark quick, at least darker. Let's pick this up. We'll put that in shadow. Okay, there's nothing about this standing out. So I want to make this a little bit brighter. I'm going to hit up on my D-pad again, go down to material. You notice at the very bottom you have roughness and you have emission. So what I'm going to do first with my left joystick is spin this around, and you see how the color on the track is changing? We're going to spin it around until it's on the desired color that I want. And for this, let's do purple. Purple looks really cool. On my right joystick, what I'm going to do is go up and down, and it's going to bring out the brightness of that track. Now, not all objects have this. There are specific ones, but I just know that this one has it. So if I put the emissions up really high, it's going to glow. So when I go to the actual track, you know, now that ramp stands out like a sore thumb. It's there. Oh, by the way, let's see how physical this rock is. Yeah, you can go right through it. It's a decoration. So that's with emissions. Something that really takes a plain track and brings it out. Now, say your track doesn't have... Oh, not much to be honest. Oh, sorry. Oh, thanks, dude. I'm trying to go through it as clearly as I can. And if you need me to repeat something, if you don't understand something, please tell me. Even though you do have the option to rewatch this, I want you to rewatch it with the basic understanding of how to do it. Like, if you just don't understand something, tell me, and I will go as deep into it as I can. So stop me. Feel free to stop me. Feel free to pause. Feel free to do whatever you need to make sure that you got this down. So, one of the things that I like to use a lot in here, they're called primitive objects, and they have an emissions just like this track. But it's going to take something really plain and boring and pop it. So let's get rid of this because it's loud, and we want something that isn't loud right now. Let's go to the concrete. It's under structures and then concrete structures. I want to do a concrete bar. There is absolutely nothing special about this. And let me show you what I just did there. I snapped it to the center line. I use my R1 to get it to spin the way I want it to. L1, L1. And I'm going to spin it again. So let's tilt it up like a ramp. Okay. There is nothing special about that concrete block. You're going to go up it, nothing stands out. You could do one of a couple things. For me, I like to go into primitive objects, and what that is, it's under your tools, all the way over to primitive shapes, and you have these options right here of any and everything. So let's take a look quick. Actually, I've never used this, so let's see if this works. Wait, reset. Can I do this? I think I can. Okay, that's really cool. I want to make this pop. And you know what? For this demonstration, no. Let's do with what I absolutely know. Triangle. That is a really tiny triangle. Let's make it bigger. All right, we got a big triangle here. Snap it to the center. Turn it around so that it's facing you. Looks like a hot dog. And I want to flush with the ramp. Oops. Turn it. And I'm going to keep tapping it. Now I'm going to go to fine tuning, and I'm going to lower it until it sinks in all at once. So lower, okay, it's still fading. Lower, still fading. And lower. Making the tree on the rock smaller. Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. Here, I'll show you real quick. Well, let me finish this thought, and then I'll go to your question, and I'll show you. This triangle here, I want it to stand out, so I'm going to go back down to material. I'm going to go to emissions. I'm going to crank it up. Now, before I'm done with this, I'm going to go up to advanced physics, make it as decoration, because it's poking out just a little bit. If I don't put it on decoration as I'm driving up, the bike's going to react to it, and it's going to hit it like a little bump or something. So by decoration, it's actually going through it, like I'm not hitting the item, but it's there. It's showing up. So that's that for emissions. Going to your question, I can take this tree and I can do one of two things. I can take this, oops, fine tuning off. I could take this down to here. I could take this tree up here. I could put this down in it, and it's good. I can also take this tree itself, and I can shrink it or make it bigger. Let's make it tiny. Let's put it on there. And this tree is too tree-sized, so I'm gonna make it not tree-sized. Oh, we got a, what is it? Not hibachi. Bonsai. We got a bonsai pine tree here. All right. There's our little pine tree. And this rock, you know what? This rock is way too massive for its own good. Let's make it that big. All right, you know, that's a cute little rock. We're gonna bring that here. We're gonna put our tree on it. Yeah, you can get as in depth as you really want to, dude. I'm gonna put it inside that rock, just like that, and we're gonna roll. Look at that. Those big trees and big rocks are now tiny trees and tiny rocks. And you can do the size adjustments for anything. What a cute pebble. Now, please, as I'm teaching you this, promise me you won't be the jerk that does this. Go into explosives, you get the biggest bomb, and it's like, you know what, that bomb isn't big enough. Let's crank it up. Alright, so please do not be this jerk that does that. Now it's a bomb, it's not going to explode right now, and this is actually a perfect segue to go into how explosives work. This explosive that I just put down is inactive. Every bomb you pick up is inactive. The way that it becomes active is by hitting your up and go into physics, and I'm clicking it on. Now when I click it on, watch what happens. It's wobbly. I can go up to it, I can hit it. Now it's a lot bigger, so it's going to take a lot more to blow it up. For now. Come on, blow up please. It's not going to blow up, but so you get the idea with that. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Okay. So, one of the things you could do with these bombs, actually a couple things. I'm going to take this. I'm going to hit up on my D-pad because that's where I go for every object. I'm going to go down to Advanced Physics, and at the very top you see hit points. This is how many hits or how hard of a hit it's going to take to detonate that bomb. So you saw me slamming into it and it blew up once. It didn't really do anything. Let's take it down to 1. If you put it on 0, nothing's going to happen. So 1 hit point. Watch this. Every time you barely touch it, you're gonna be exploded. Another thing you could do with this bomb is not only set the hit points, but if you go back into Advanced Physics, you go down to Force Factor, you can choose how big or how small of an explosion you're going to get. We're going to crank this sucker up to 1,000. You ready for this? That was violent. Oh my god. Oh man. You know what? I want to jump on that once. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to put that right there. And we're going to jump on it. Oh my gosh. So you can have all kinds of fun with this. And you don't have to stop at 1,000. You can take it up to 8,000. Let's try 8,000. Brian. Free falling. We're at 8,000 right now. And she's gone. Oh man, is she gone? She is out. 8,000. Oh my gosh. She is gone. So, that's all about explosives. Let's put it together quick. Let's take this bomb. Oh, the other thing, if it's on a line like this and you just move the stick left or right, you don't have to worry about recentering it. As long as you're just going left and right, it'll stay centered. So let's put it right here, and we're going to give our whole track a quick test. So we're going to go up this ramp. Oh, hey guys, look, it's a giant-ass bomb. I'm gone. I am gone. Oh my gosh. Alright. So far, we're looking pretty cool, right? My platform is getting a little bit too small for the track size that I want to make. So let's hit triangle to copy it. I'm going to bring it over. And we're going to center it. Now, watch me please. Here we go. Whenever you're doing this, come in close and make sure your connections are as tight as you can get them. I'm going down to fine tuning, high. And I'm matching it up as tight as I can. The reason behind that, if you go over, it starts to glitch. It starts to give these little lines and it's not very appealing to players. That's also how you spot a noob creator. So, okay, our track just got a bit longer. As of this point right here, you're actually good to make any and all tracks you want. Say I want a second checkpoint as I'm going through. We're going to be jumping this bomb for now. Oh, fine tuning off. Just because there's more I want to show you. I want another checkpoint in here. First off, this is far away enough that I don't have to worry about it. Always keep in mind that your end checkpoint, whenever you get there, it's going to end the track. So, and I mean it makes sense, but you always got to keep that in mind. You can't put a checkpoint past that. There was another thing I wanted to talk about, but I'll get past that one sec here. Okay. Pieces like this have really weird cutoff hitboxes. This right here says that this is the end of this piece, but the piece actually ends about right here. I don't know why they do that. but some of these pieces don't act as full objects. That triangle that I showed you in the concrete section, the very tip of it is also like this, where it ends before it shows that it ends. It's just something that you're going to have to work with, work around, and I usually put an obstacle over it. So, you know, let's do Trials Rising, let's do Intermediate, oops. We'll just do a ramp here. Okay, spin it around, put it down. And what I do is I put it into the floor, and then I slowly lift it back up until it shows. And that way it's pretty much flush. I mean, you're going to have a little bump there, but you can get rid of that just by, oops, just by putting it in a little bit more. So, fine tuning on just before it goes in, right there. Can you change the ground, by the way? You mean the grass and all that? Like the initial ground? Or this? Like, you don't have to have this. This is just my preference. You can have rocks. You can drive on rocks for all you want. You can stick to the main layout that they give you with the grass and the hills and things like that. I mean, the options are endless, dude. Would you mind clarifying on the ground? The wooden platform? Yeah, oh yeah, you can change that, dude. I can change this to that. Let's see if this actually works. I don't think it will. Nope, I'm underneath it. You don't have to have this wooden platform here. It's just something that I personally like to use. Anyway, back to checkpoints real quick before I'll get back to you here in a sec. I want another checkpoint right after this bomb. So I'm going to take my first checkpoint, click on it, and hit triangle. That gives me another checkpoint. And watch your biker as they go through, and wherever that biker stops is where your next checkpoint is going to activate. So I'm going to put it there because it's, you know, just past the bomb. And then you test track and it's right there. Good to go. Oh, that was awesome. One more time, real quick. Oh, yeah. Anyway, okay. So, we have 2 checkpoints. Okay, any questions so far? Because what I'd like to do next is dive into the properties of, like, the events and the triggers and things like that. I want to show you how to set up timers, how to set up what I know to do in that section. Because right now, this is all plain. Nothing's moving, nothing is doing anything. So really, right now is the best time to ask any question you want. If you want to, you got everything? Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything huge I missed. Let me think on that for a sec here. Actually, let me scroll through real quick. Okay, that's all fine. Tools. Oh! Okay, before I do any more, this is for effects that are going to stay static. So effects that are going to last throughout the entire thing. You can go into effects. You can scroll through all these. Drilling rock. I can put this effect right here. And then test track. And look, I'm driving through drilling rock. Or say this little rock right here is so tiny that all the particles are internally combusting. I could put the effect in the rock, and now that rock looks like it's shooting out rocks. Or let's actually zoom in through the rock, because now I got to get this. And we're gonna make the bomb shoot rocks. Look at that. As if the bomb didn't have enough problems with its 800 blast force, or 8,000 blast force. Now it has rocks coming out of it. So the effects you can play with all you want. Let's take this drilling rock, we'll put it... Oops. Sometimes you're going to have a hard time grabbing them. See how it's yellow? When it turns white, you know you're on it. And it's a really finicky thing once you place down the effects. There we go. Nuclear rock fountain. Alright, so drilling rock. For this bomb, you know what? It looks pretty plain. Let's do... let's do fire ring? Fire smoke? Fire trail? Yeah, I want something more... Oh, baby. Oh, and these effects, you can turn as well. Maybe not with this, but... let me show you. Where's it at? Is it this? Pyrotechnic, maybe? Technical? I gotta find what I'm looking for to show you. Oh, I could use that. Flamethrower. I can make it go sideways. I can make it go down. And if I ever want to change anything with this, all I have to do is hit up on my D-pad again, and I go into the whole properties just like with everything else. So the width is tiny. Let's make it a fat one. And distance, let's turn it down once. That's a really tiny flamethrower. Let's make it super massive. Speed, let's turn it up. Spark density, sure. No smoke though. We don't like smoke. Light, sound, you know what? I don't like that sound. And fire color, let's make it blue. No, I can't really see that too well. Let's make it yellow. There you go. Alright. So we got a slightly off-kilter yellow flame going on. Coming out of that bomb. And that's your effect right there. It's massive. It actually looks like it's peeing out fire. Or actually just peeing. So, there's our rock explosion. There's our fire urinating nuclear bomb. That's not going to get old. So there's some basic effects for your track. You know, nothing too fancy. That's dope. Okay. So, one of the things that I'll show you first, goodbye rest of my life. One thing that I want to show you is how to rotate something. This is really, really intricate, and you're going to have to sit with me for a minute because I've done it before. It's just going to take me a minute to remember fully how to do it. I'm going to get a guy out. I'm going to go to Trials Rising. I want to get a character, an NPC, and I like the beard guy, or the beer guy. So he's sitting right there. You go. I can scroll through and pick whatever I want from him. So he's standing there. I'm gonna put him right there. Now, when I go in and play, he's gonna be at the top of that bomb clapping. Yeah. So nothing really other than him clapping is going on right now. I'm kind of teabagging him with my bike. That is beautiful. I love that bomb. But, you know what? He's a little too stationary for my taste. I want him to rotate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit up on my D-pad. I'm going to go to Tools. Now there's going to be several things I'm going to need. There are... Oh boy, give me a minute here. Let me remember. Oh, no, I'm going to go to Common. And I'm going to go over to Physics. And I'm going to get Physics Joint. I'm going to go into Common again, but back over to General. I'm going to get a dummy object. And I think that's all I need. So what I'm going to do is go into the properties of this physics joint. Now this physics joint, what this does is it allows things to move in ways that you want it to. You can make things raise and lower. You can make things spin, move in and out. For me, the only thing I really know how to do is make it spin. I can make things move up and down, but I would have to watch another tutorial or something. So for rotating, go down to properties, take it over to advanced. Keep the first two the same. Select target 1 is the thing you want to rotate. I want to rotate this guy. Select target 2 is your dummy object. Now what your dummy object is a point of reference. It's just something that it can compare itself to. So you see when I clicked on the dummy object, it gave me this red line. I'm then going to go down to angular settings, angular motor. I'm going to turn it on. Let me go do that again because this is important right here. Go down to angular settings, angular motor, which is the top, and enabled. Make sure this is enabled. Your target velocity is how fast it's going to spin, and your max force is how much force it takes to get it up to that speed. I want it to get up to speed pretty quick, so I'm going to turn that up. And I'm going to back out of here. Now right now as it sits, nothing's going to happen. The reasoning why is this guy does not have physics enabled. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to click on him, I'm going to hit up, I'm going to enable physics. And let's bring him up a tiny bit. There we go. Okay, this red line that popped up, this is your wheel of spinning. I'm going to click on the center piece of it, and it brings this whole thing up. I'm going to double snap. You ready? Just like we're aligning it to the middle. We're resetting it to default. So now the way the red is going is the way it spins. So I'll bring it right here, and I'll show you what it looks like with him spinning. Now, you can do this without going into test track every time. And the way that I did it was just by hitting the left touchpad. That enables physics in your track without you actually going through it. So I can have this guy doing backflips as he's clapping. Turn it off. Alright. I don't like that it's off center. So, oops. I'm going to center this on this guy. Or I'm just going to move the guy so that I can get this. Move him back. Put this back on him. And you know what? Let's make him spin this way. Oops. Now he does one of these. So now when I play it, that guy's up there and he's living his best life right now. He's just having one hell of a time. I could jump on him. Yep. You could jump on the beer man. Now my force factor isn't up too high, so I can stop it. Ooh, good reference, Leonard. I like that song. I used to, I should say. Till Alvin and the Chipmunks ruined it. So that guy's spinning now. Realistically, if it were for an actual track, oops. You know, I would do this. I would make him spin horizontally. So instead of clapping as he's doing backflips, now he's just clapping at everybody. Jumping on his head. That is so beautiful. I love that bomb. So that's how you get something to spin. Let's do flashing lights next. This is something that can be really easy or super intricate based on how you want to do it. And if you guys know anything about fractions, it's going to make this a whole lot easier. It's not On the base, it's not hard. When you want to get involved with it is where it really becomes mathematical. That bomb never gets old. You're damn right it never does. So I'm gonna put, we're gonna do 2 lights for right now. I'm gonna take this light and I'm gonna copy it and I'm gonna put a friend up here. So I want to make these change color, you know, just throughout, like flash. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit up on my D-pad. I'm gonna go over to triggers and events, interval trigger. What this interval trigger is it tells you for however long you want, it's gonna be doing this certain action. So interval trigger literally means every time length you set it at, it's gonna perform this action. The bomb's name is Adam. So interval trigger, and you don't have to snap these to the center. You're never gonna see them, but I like to snap them because then I won't lose them. So impulse trigger. You're gonna need one of these for every color you're gonna do. So since I'm doing 2 colors, I need 1, I need 2. And I'm gonna change the colors of these. So I hit up on my D-pad again. I don't think it's a reference. It's just a name for the bomb. The bomb needs a name. I'm gonna go over to events. Now, triggers and events always work together. You're never gonna have an event that works without a trigger or something else that activates it. Events, I'm gonna do a color event. And I'm gonna put this, because we have 2 colors, I'm gonna put it between the 2 pieces that we're doing. So this is really intricate from here on. You click on this to go into the settings, hit up. Your start tick and your intervals work together. This is how long you want the loop to go. So every 60 seconds, I'm sorry, every 1 second, something happens. It tells you below the 60, so I guess it's frames. So every 60 frames or one, I don't know. I gotta stop with the whole math thing, but start tick for your first one is always going to be 0. And for your second one, you know, if you're only doing 2, I would do half of the interval. So right now I'm going to put this at 15. And what that does, see how it shows you the impulses? It clicks it to perform that action. So for instance, let's make this, whenever you want to put a trigger into an event, all you have to do is select event filter and connect it. I'm going to do it to this as well. Oh, atom bomb. Oh, I get it. I get it now. Event filter. I'm going to select that. So now, these are white right now. I want to make it blue and red. So I'm going to go into the up arrow, I'm sorry, the up on the D-pad again, go down to color, and you know what, yeah, let's select red for the first color. And I'm going to go down to event target. Select event target is what you want to change color. So I'm clicking on that, and I'm clicking on that. And hold on here, let me think. Yeah, okay. And now the other one, I want to make it blue. So color, take it the whole way down to blue, back out of it. Oops, I'm sorry, go back into it, and you actually have to select them. Event targets. 1, 2. So now when I go into the track, they should be flashing. Red, blue, red, blue. So now the interval, or the start and the interval times, make these go faster or slower. So now, right now we have it at 30 and 60. So if I want it to go faster, we're gonna take that 60 down to 20. And keep the top at 0. And this is usually always half. So we're gonna bring this down to 10 as well. or 20, I'm sorry, 20 as well. We're going to bring this down to 10. I have to stop myself because I'm going off the cuff. They can alternate, and I'll show you how to do that here in a second. Good question, because that's the next thing I want to show you. So, however many of these interval triggers you have, and it's all going to the same thing, your interval has to be the same for all of them. So whether I have 2 on screen or whether I have 15, changing 15 different colors, your intervals have to stay the same. So now that I lowered it from 60 to 20, and we're doing half, watch how fast these things go. And you can go faster than that if you want. Like, you can go full out seizure mode if you really wanted to. So, just to recap so far, we got those flashing lights, we got this guy spinning and clapping, Adam, we got the mini tree, the mini rocks, the rock spinning rocks. Let's go into alternate. Let me see if I can remember how to... Okay, for alternating, you actually need 4 of these because you're rotating colors. So go back over to interval trigger. You're going to put 1 there and 1 there. That's going to stay 0, and that's going to go to the other time that matches this. So these both have to go to 20, because remember, however many you have, they all have to have the same intervals. So that's going to 20, and that's going to 20. Now this one is going to be the 10 because it's on this side. So let's, dude, I don't even want to know how long your map took you to build. Just now realized how much. Well, the thing about that though is once you get it, and like once you know what you're doing, physically doing it doesn't take very long. Like it doesn't take long at all. As long when you start to understand the concept, it actually comes together pretty quick. So I'm gonna take off the target for this. Oh, I'm sorry, you need 4 of everything right now. Yeah, there we go. Wait, no you don't. Hold on, I gotta think about this quick. Yeah, you do. You do. You're just setting up 1 for each item. Okay. So let's take this off. Let's take the target off of that. Let's take the target off of this. So now, right now as it stands, this side right here connected is our red side. This side is our blue side. And right now they're both only doing this. So test track, red blue only on the bottom. What we're gonna do now is, while these are going red blue, I want to take this one and I want to make this one the red later on. So I'm going to put that to the red. I'm going to take this one, put this to the blue. Take this. It looks crazy, but really just watch the beginning of what I did and you can play around with it and you'll see how easily it actually comes together. I'm probably making it sound more difficult than what it actually is. So we're just linking these up to the other piece, and now it should alternate when we go in. Yep, so it's alternating. It's kind of complicated, but I wanted to get it in the video just so that you can go back and see exactly what I did. So we got our 2 alternating, we got the guy spinning. Giorno Pepe. What game is this? This is Trials Rising. I'm just showing everybody how to use the tutorial right now. We went through laying down, you know, the main track, how to make things bigger, smaller, change the colors, bombs, how they work. Yeah. How to rotate certain things. What I just did was showing you how to adjust colors. That's more for like advanced once you actually get into it and really start building. The next thing I'm going to teach is going to be how to set up ninja obstacles. So I'm sure there's a lot of questions on how people do that, and we're going to go into that now. So let's keep that there just as a remembrance that this isn't fully connected. I'm going to go in, I'm going to get a ramp. Up on the D-pad, we're going to go to, let's just get out one of the regular looking wooden things. I've been using these a lot lately. Medium. Snap to the center. We're going to put it down on the ground, just like that. Alright. Click on the checkpoint because that's one we're working off of. Do you play Binding of Isaac? Because I saw you playing it one time. Oh, I play it all the time, dude. It's just, my subs asked me to give a really quick example on how to do this, and so I said yeah. I do play Isaac a lot. I'm thinking probably Friday-ish. Definitely won't be tomorrow night. But no, just stick around with the channel, dude. I play Isaac quite a bit. Let's get into ninjas here. I want this to be back wheel. So, what's the first thing you think of when you go to back wheel tracks? Other than that, I can't click on this right now, and it's driving me crazy. Let's pull it out. Let's do this again. There. The first thing you think of, there are not many people playing Isaac on YouTube. Yeah, it's all good. I'm hoping to change that a good bit. Okay, sorry, I'm done getting distracted here. No, not Siri. We're going to change this to red by hitting the up and go into material. We're going to go in, we're going to change that to red. And for emissions, it's not going to make much of a difference, but I cranked it up anyway. Giorno, sounds good, dude. And I hope to see you there. It's his first love. I don't know if... I think Trials was my first love, dude. I do play Isaac a lot, though. Alright. So we're going to go back into our menu up here by hitting the up on the D-pad. We're going to go to Tools. We're going to go to Triggers and Events. Hit Trigger. I'm going to center that. Next thing we're going to do is go to Events. And we're going to do... Oh, what's it called? I just go by the way it looks. Bike Part Detach Event. I'm going to put that in the center. And then finally, I want to do a player event where they detach when they hit the wrong piece. So right now, this is really simple. You got a hit trigger, which means whenever you hit something, it triggers the next set. Farm Simulator. This just means what part of the bike breaks when a certain event happens, and this just means you're going to fall off your bike. So, because we're doing a back wheel, whenever you're doing back wheel with ninjas, you always want to think of front wheel setting it up. It's always the opposite. So I'm going in here. I'm going to hit up, set hitting objects 1. No matter when you put this hit trigger down, these two are always enabled. For this instance, you want to disable them and go down to object instances. You want to select the object that you want to make back wheel in this case. This works exactly the same way with front wheel, just reverse what I'm going to do with the wheels. So I clicked on my object. So now go back, objects 2, which means what's going to react with that object. So object 2, object instances, I want my front wheel to react when it hits that. So now that we have those two selected, I want to know what happens when that front wheel hits that plank. So I'm going to hit on hit, and I want it to detach. Okay, so what do I want to detach? Well, let's go in here. Let's hit up, select bike parts. Well, I want my front wheel to detach. Oh, and let's you know what? Let's just make the bike detach. And right now, as it stands, you're actually fine. You can go in, touch it, the whole bike just falls apart. Sometimes what people do, they don't finish it, is they just select the front wheel. And what happens is you're still able to drive. So I go in here, I touch this, you're still able to drive. You're still able to do things without your front wheel, when really that's not the point of doing it. So what I do, and what a lot of really good ninja creators do, is they take this bike detach and they say, okay, well, the front tire came off. I want them to actually fault. So I'm going to select event filter, which this is an event. Not only do I want their bike to come apart, I want them to fall off of it. So now watch, and this is instant. Test track. Poof. I'm done. So this is how you set up a back wheel ninja obstacle. I can stay on this as long as I want, but the second my front tire touches, I'm screwed. This is going to get a little more in depth, just real quick, but hear me out, this might help you with other things. Maybe I don't want them to detach just yet. Maybe I want them to hit it and realize what they did before anything happens. Now, if I want, I could put something in between here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a timer in there. So I'm going to go back up. I'm going to go to filter. And I'm going to do impulse delay filter. And what this is a timer that goes in between this event and this event. It's 1:30 and I really got to go to bed, but I want to watch the stream. Anyway, anytime, dude. Running out of no paper room. It's all good. Leonard, you'll have this when you wake up tomorrow or the next time you want to do it. We're actually getting pretty close to the end of pretty much all the big things that I wanted to teach you. This might actually even be the last piece. I haven't really thought that much farther. No, it's not. There's one more thing I want to show you. But, okay. Well, hey, enjoy your night, and you'll have this to look forward to tomorrow. So delayed impulses, what these do, again, it takes a timer between this event and this event. So let's delay impulses. That's 1 second. Let's do, you know, just for this example, let's do 2 seconds, which is 120. Hey, night, dude, and again, hey, no worries, man. I love my subs. I'll do whatever you guys want. So, thank you for being part of the team. We're doing 2 seconds here. So, I want this to break apart, but then event filter. I want it to then wait 2 seconds, and then I want the bike to fall apart. So, event filter, right there. So now, test track. I'm gonna hit this. Oh snap! It fell apart. Oh, and then I die. So it takes full 2 seconds from when this detaches to when I fall. You can completely mess with people. You can take this out of the equation. Just go to hit trigger, wait a couple seconds, and then detach. That's pretty evil. I could do just about split second. I usually like to give them about 0.3 of a second just to realize what they did. Oops. And I'll show you what that looks like. Going through, you touch it, oh snap. It's like, okay, it's not super instant that you're dead, but you might as well be. It's just enough time to react. Say, oh man, I made a mistake. So that's for that. Now, if I wanted to make this front wheel, all I would have to do is, instead of selecting my front tire, for the first piece, I would select my back tire. For this, I would select my back tire. So whenever you're making a ninja course, the tires that you're selecting is opposite from the type of track that you want, whether it's front wheel or back wheel. So we got ninja obstacles, we got color changes, spinning objects, we got the main track line down. There is a few things with lights that I don't think I'm going to go into, bless you, simply because it's a lot. There are ways you could put lights on your tires. I don't necessarily remember how to do that at the moment. A little something for everyone. No, we're not done. Okay. So, we did our track. We went through. The next thing we want to do, that's our finish. We want to do a fail area. So, let's go back in. Let's go to Common, General, Fail Area. And I want this to be flat, so I'm going to cycle through and get a flat one. What this does is it prevents people from going into a spot that you don't want them in. So my fail area, I'm going to put vertical, right here in front of this bomb because I don't want them backing up. So test track, and I'm going to fail before I hit that bomb. Granted, the bomb still blows me up, but I'm going to hit that invisible fail area, and I'm going to fall off. You can put these between jumps. Usually that's what people use to, to make you reset. If your track doesn't have fail areas, then there's going to be ways that they can get around it, ways that, just don't look too appealing. Let's spin this, and we'll do a small fail area right here. So you get on your back wheel. Oh, I'm just driving through. Did I not put it high enough? I did not. Okay, the hitboxes on these are really, not the fail areas on this wood that I'm using, is really weird. Let's bring this up a tiny bit. There you go. Let's try that. Will that work? I gotta bring it up higher? Really? Yeah, it's not even selecting it. Okay, right there. That'll work. Sorry, for other flat surfaces, it works just fine. It's this wood that I'm using. So now I'm driving. Oh, I hit it. So I gotta jump over it. We're good. So wherever you put that fail area, whenever someone touches it, they're going down. And then last but not least, setting up your track. For me, I like to, start at the beginning of my track. I like to go through, watch my time. And as I'm watching this time, oops. This is normally how long it's going to take somebody to do this track. Now, I'm flying through this haphazardly. Oh, I forgot there was a fail area. Okay, that whole track took me 28 seconds. There's no way it should have, but for example, that whole track took me 28 seconds. And you know what? I feel like that's a fair time. So what I'm going to do is now, instead of hitting my up button on my D-pad, I'm going to hit my right touchpad, or I like to call it the start editor menu. So, no, well, you can, but for this type of wood, no. Normally you're not floating above a platform. It's the wood I'm using. This whole piece right here is kind of a bad example for that. You normally won't. But real quick, going back into it, you're going to go to track settings. You can also do it from the very beginning like I showed you with the circle. Hold down on your D-pad, go to track settings. Either way, go into game mode settings. Alright, this is an easy track. Let's say it's an extreme, okay? Allowed bikes. You know what? You could do it on the Squid, you could do it on the Rhino Mantis. Hell, you could do it on just about everything. All I want you to use, though, personally, is the Rhino and the Helium. I don't want you to have access to any other bikes. Recommended bike. I'm going to recommend you hit the Helium, but, you could choose the Mantis. Countdown delay, don't worry about it. Delay after finish, don't worry about it. I use it because I show my YouTube channel on it. It's how long the player can exit out the track after you finish. Medal limits. Here's where I was going with the time. So now, my gold is usually where I like to put my own times. So that took me 28 seconds. So let's just round it out and make this a cool 30 seconds. Okay, now platinum, it has to be better than my time. Meh, okay. Let's take it down to 25. That's a whole 5 seconds. And then diamond, you know what, you got to be boss at this game. You have to do it in 15 seconds. Now silver, you can put it wherever you want. Please, please do this next thing for me. In any track you make, please do this. Your bronze always goes to 30 minutes. Because anybody who doesn't complete it within that little bit of time frame doesn't get a medal. By putting bronze at the 30 minutes, you're at least giving them something. They're not going to get that little skull with the no symbol on it. It's more of a, hey, thank you for playing my track. That's for me. If you put your 30-minute bronze, it's showing appreciation. So stick with that. Track description. We're gonna do this. Actually, let's actually post this. Actually, I don't have enough room to write all that in. Okay, let's not actually post that. All right. Let's just do test. And now, when you're going to your track, Atom Bomb, there you go. Well, that's not the name. We'll name it Atom Bomb. We'll name the track Atom Bomb. That's the track description. Whenever you have a track that pops up, you have the track name and the description. This is just the description showing you, what's in the track. I usually put front wheel, back wheel, ninja, enjoy, something like that. Bike steering, don't worry about. But that's really it. And then you can mess with the music playlist all you want. Save track. Now hit triangle. And we're going to do Atom Bomb. And now it's saved it in there. See, now it says you can play it, share it, or edit it in the editor. When you go to share a track, track management, share track, it's going to make you take a picture right off the back. That's normal, it's fine. You can manipulate the camera by pressing your left thumbstick in. That way you can tilt it, things like that. I want my picture to be this guy standing on a bomb. And it gives you little previews over there. And then I hit circle because I just took the picture. Share track. You have to pass it. There's one more thing at the end that I should show you. Okay. It's going to make you pass it. And you hit X to continue. You just play through your track like normal. I'm not going to do this because I don't want to share this track just yet. Well, I don't want to share this track without proper explanation to the group. But at the very end, after you pass your track, there's going to be one more window that pops up. You're verifying your name. You're verifying the description. But then it makes you pick tags. You have to select at least one tag to be able to share it. Once you're done with your tags, all you have to do is hit your right touchpad and it'll share. So that's all you have to do with that. And that's how you make a track. You can put objects inside of objects. You can make them bigger, smaller. You can make them rotate. You can even make checkpoints rotate. Oh, real quick. All right, just as a nicety. One more thing that I always do in a track that I just remembered. I'm sorry for not showing this to you before. But this is, again, a nicety. It's never required. It's just something tag explosive fun. Actually, no, explosive isn't one, but you can make custom checkpoints. And I'll show you how to do a really rudimentary one. Let's go to... Actually, I want a pole. So let's go to Fusion, Structures, Scaffolds, and Extensions. Oops. That's the base of my checkpoint. Now let's do... Where's that? What am I thinking? That's what I'm thinking. Alright. I'm going to go to Fault 10 holographic. And that thing is really big, so let's shrink it. Ooh. Will it fit on my pole? It's... You know what? That's a good size. Alright. Now, when I'm building checkpoints like this, what I usually do is snap it to the center. I'll take the ball, snap it to the center. That way I know they're perfectly centered on top of each other, and then I'll move them both back. One thing, whenever you start creating full objects like this, if you hold in L1, you can multi-select, hit up on the pad, and group objects. Now, when you group objects, you can move the whole thing at once. You can unselect it, and then when you click back on it, you're moving the whole thing again. So that's another nicety, ease of life thing that I forgot to show you as well. So I want my checkpoint to be right here, and we're going to take this. Please let me, it won't let me fix the colors. So let's get rid of that. Let's do something that allows me to fix the colors. Primitive shapes, fusion, sphere. This is just a really rude assembly right here. There we go. Alright, and we're going to make it a little bright. I want to make it yellow, signifying that we haven't crossed the checkpoint yet. So I'm going to hit up on my D-pad. I'm going to go to triggers and events. No, I'm not. I'm going to go to event. Yeah, triggers and events, events. I'm going to do a color event. And when I want that event to happen, I want that color to go green. So I haven't connected anything yet, and you'll see why. I go to green. And what do I want to be green? I want this ball to go green. All I did was go to select event targets and did it. Now this checkpoint, hit up on it, and you go to the very bottom, second to last, it says select event filter. I want this color thing to happen when this checkpoint goes off. And then what I do is I take this checkpoint and I pull it towards the camera so that it's off. Now when the checkpoint is triggered, it's green. So let's start here. At the top, you see how it's yellow? As soon as I hit that checkpoint, it's going to be green. So that's how you do that. And it doesn't have to be with just colors. You can do it with events. Maybe I want fire coming out of it instead of, you know, this glowing. So instead of using a color, I will go to effect event. I'll set it to on. And I'll pick my event. Or I mean my effect. So we'll do... Oh god. Yeah, let's do a barrel explode. No, let's do a C4 explosion. Now, this is going to keep looping, so I'm going to hit up on my D-pad and I'm going to turn it off. I'm also going to turn off looped. So these are both off right now. This explosion thing will not happen. I could take the checkpoint and link it directly to this effect event. Or I could take this color and I can link the color to the effect event as well. So not only now will it change color, but it'll trigger this C4 explosion. So I hit up on the D-pad to go into the options. I'm going to select the event target, the event that I want to happen. And when this checkpoint triggers, now this event's going to trigger. I want it to be blowing up inside my balls, or my ball. Wow. So now when I start, it's going to do that. Her hand got glitched. That was beautiful. Alright. So, that's the basics of what I know. There's a few other things that I could go into, but to be honest, I'd really have to refresh my memory. 99% of it is your imagination. Going into it, seeing what you can put together with what, seeing what works, seeing the colors. Just advice, look at other tracks and how they're built, and then try to make your track, you know, inspired from it. Benchmark off of it. If you just lay down a driving line and don't decorate your track, you're not going to be well received. And I learned that the hard way. You want to take the time to make your track look as nice as you can make it. Don't get lazy on it. Don't make sure everything is snapped properly. Don't put anything in there that you can't physically do yourself. But other than that, I mean, everything works out, so. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Brian, I think Leonard, yeah, Leonard got off. Is there anything else you guys have questions on, Brian, that you want to see? I'm trying to think. We did the lights, we did the front wheel, back wheel. You can put lights on them, but, you know, that's a little more intricate. There's so many more options in here. Not effects. Triggers and events. Like, you have all these events. You have filters, operations, data sources. I mean, all this. I don't know what most of these do. Like, I could do distance operator. I've used that. I think it's skill games. Filters, condition filters. Generic filters, also a skill game thing. Switch filters. Data sources, this is for the lights on your, yeah, this one, vector object info. This is used when you're putting lights on your wheels. That's another whole thing that I forget how to do at the moment. So, alright guys, well, that's going to end this tutorial. That's pretty much all I have. So, Brian, if you're able, or if you're free and you want to do some Minecraft, I'm going to jump off here, and probably 10-15 minutes afterwards we'll dive back into it if you're free. Leonard, I made this for you, buddy. Thank you for being an awesome sub. I hope this helped you out. I can't wait to see what tracks you bring to us. So with that being said, anyone else, if you found it helpful, you know, leave me a comment. Or if there's something you want to see, if you want to see a part 2, or if you want to see something else, you know, ask me. I should be able to help you. Should be. So, alright guys, have a good night, and I will see you all later.